Welcome to Solo Driven, and today we're going to be talking about everything wrong with the SVT Cobra. Put the seatbelt on. Now, as I'm mentioning these things, I will mention and discuss what has been fixed and what will get fixed in the future. But before we do that, I need some gas. Thank you, sir. Here he is. I apologize in advance for the audio. It is a little windy out here. I do have a mic coming in, so I appreciate y'all's patience, and I will improve the quality in future videos. Anyways, some flaws on the SVT Cobra. Number one, the paint. The paint, it might look good on camera, but in person this thing has swirls and scratches all over the place. Now the bumper is pretty beat up. You can see all sorts of scratches. The paint started peeling right here in the front. I went ahead and went over this with some black paint just to kind of make it blend in more, because it used to be like a primer, but this paint is out of shade. The guy did have the license plate mounted on here, just screwed on here. I don't know why he wouldn't just get a bracket, but instead he drilled these holes. Nothing that's that I can't fix in the future, but this will be getting fixed once this whole car gets painted. You can see the swirl marks right here, and this is throughout the whole entire car. It looks pretty bad. It bothers me, but there's not much you can do when you buy a used car like this besides get it painted. The guy noted to me that he did have like some of his friends leaning up against the car and caused all these scratches right here. Again, I touched it up, but it still looks pretty bad when you get close up to it. Now, one thing that you will notice now is that it does have exhaust tips. It did not come with exhaust tips in the beginning. I did add this. It will be included in a future video, which will probably be the next one. So make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss that video. In general, this car just has a whole bunch of scuffs and, you know, little marks all over the paint. Another thing that is really bad with the exterior is, I'm gonna see if I can get this on camera. This right there, hail damage all over the car. It's really not that bad, but there is a lot of them throughout the entire roof area. Nothing on the hood, thank God, but it does have damage, you know, along this whole area over here, which I will get fixed when this car does get painted. Now the wheel setup, you might notice that there is something missing in the middle, and that is the center cap. Since I do not know what wheel brand these are, I need to measure the center diameter there, so I can go ahead and order some center caps to give this wheel setup its complete finished look. Now the tires, The tires were bald and torn to shred. I did replace these with Toyo Proxys R888Rs, pretty expensive. I like them so far. Maybe I'll do a review later on, but these were all torn up. 335s in the back, 275s in the front. I haven't replaced these, but this guy, he had some Federals on here. I mean, garbage in my opinion. I will replace these with the Toyos in the front as well. Now the headlights were in pretty bad shape. I did mention in the previous video that this is from the factory. Now the style is from the factory besides this clear side marker. From the factory they're going to come in amber color. So he had these, but they were a lot more worn out, and I went ahead and replaced these. I'll leave a link in the description where I got these. Great company. I suggest that if you do have a Mustang or just want to replace your headlights, go check those guys out. The windshield was cracked when I got the car. It was beyond repair. I did fix it. Unfortunately, I did get a little crack, like not even 2 months after I replaced the windshield, but I went ahead and sealed that up, so we will no longer see that crack getting bigger and bigger throughout its time. Now the tint on this car was blue. It was bubbling. I replaced that. 20 in the wait, actually 35, no, 20s, 20 in the back, 20 on the sides, and limo right here. Only reason is because I do want to make sure that I clear everything at night. I don't want to be reversing and hit something by accident, a car. I've done it before, believe me, so I just went ahead with 20 in the front, 20 on the sides, and limo on the side back windows here. Now for the interior is in pretty good shape. You will notice here that this panel has come off. It looks like he has tried to glue this, so I'll be ordering that pretty soon. There's no point in trying to glue this back on. I don't know what the deal is with this, but it's gonna get a new panel. Whoa, dude, whoa, you're like f***ing up my video, bro. Now the steering wheel here is beat up. That will happen with time. There's nothing I can do about that. I believe they do offer replacement, you know, factory style steering wheel. So maybe we'll buy the replacement factory steering wheel in the future. Now another thing is this right here. It looks like maybe he has something glued or something melted and burned this piece right here. I do want to replace this whole column here with something special. When I get it, I'll do a video on that. But for now, I mean, I'll just keep it to factory. Now the shift knob, the leather is loose. I don't know if they were messing with the shifter knob in general and just didn't put it back right. But I will be making sure that this goes back on there the proper way. Haven't come around to it these past couple months, but we're gonna do that. The back seats. Now they look fine until you get and see that right there. It does have some torn and dried up leather. The other seat is fine, but this seat is torn up. I would like to replace the back seats with maybe something black. I do like the red. Don't know what direction I'm going in with these seats, but we'll figure something out. Now the interior is the least of my worries, because this is what's been taken care of the best here. No cracks on the dashboard here, so I'm very happy about that. Now for the suspension, like I stated in the previous video, it did come lowered. The shocks were completely blown, especially over here in the front. It actually sat a lot lower. I went ahead and replaced, it had the stock Bilstein shocks. I went ahead and replaced them with Coney yellows. They ride great. I can adjust the dampering up here, and I also did that for the rear. Now when I replaced these, I was unsatisfied with the height. It brought it up a lot higher, and I went ahead and made the decision to cut a piece of the coil, I mean the spring, to give it a little bit of a lower height. Big mistake. It made the car run like crap, so I had to replace these, and they already had the Eibach Pros, but I replaced them with the Eibach Red. They ride great, they look great. I like the red color, and I'm not gonna mess with that. Now as far as the engine, when I got the car, it did have the check engines. Actually this one, it says service engine soon. So it did have that light on. It was sputtering a lot, When I got it, I took out the spark plugs and saw that there was oil in there, indicating that we had a valve cover gasket leak. Now I did replace that. It was kind of pricey because you have to disassemble all this in order to get this valve cover off. I got the new valve cover gaskets. I did replace the spark plugs, and within a couple weeks it was not sputtering. Another thing that I did was I changed the fuel filter. That thing was old. The fuel that was coming out of there was black, so that improved the car's performance drastically. I noticed that it turns on a lot smoother. And the only thing that I'm having trouble now is that it does in low RPMs have a spark. I don't know if it's because the spark gap, I got it set to 0.25, I believe. And I don't know if that's working out for this car. Another thing that I think it is the mass airflow sensor. It's way down there, and it has to, you know, all that air has to travel up this long tube. So I'm not sure if that is giving it a hard time. Now another thing that's wrong with it is the clutch. The clutch is worn out. It's every time I take off in first gear, it's giving me that noise. I'll try and put a clip in there. But it's giving me that noise that like it's not engaging right. It does. That's why I have to granny shift, because the gears are not going in, and if I take the RPMs high, it will not come out of gear. So I have to be very careful when driving this car hard. I try not to drive it hard, but that is going to be one expensive fix. So hopefully in the future we'll have a video where we're swapping out this clutch for a brand new one. Now, one other thing is that I do have a rear main seal leak. I don't want to fix that until I fix this clutch, because I would be then paying double for something that I could just pay for one time while they're there replacing the clutch. But other than that, the car runs great. Now about that lie. So in the last video, I lied to y'all, but it wasn't intentionally. It was by accident. I didn't catch my words. I didn't catch it in editing. When I was talking about this car and how many miles it had at the time I purchased it, I did not mean 9,500 miles. What I meant to say was 95,500 miles. So I apologize about that. I didn't catch it while editing, but just to clear that up, it does have 95,500 miles at the time that I purchased it. So that's it. Everything wrong with the SVT Cobra. These are the things that we will fix in the near future. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comment down below, especially with that stuttering, misfiring slash little deal that I have here. I'm all ears and open for any suggestions, so make sure you leave them in the comment down below. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next video, because it's hot up in this.